Hi gang, we're starting with day 2 of learning to ride the OneWheel coming from an EUC, and I thought I would start by clarifying a couple of things from the first day's video. I've been told by Jeremy that this is actually an XR, not a OneWheel Plus, but a OneWheel Plus XR. I thought that they had it on the side or something like that, but I guess he's got it masked with these protections. So this is an XR, not a OneWheel Plus. The second thing is that this had just come back from the factory where it had been repaired for both the Bluetooth connection and the sensor pads. So this is, he test rode it a few miles before dropping it off, charged and what have you. This is literally from the factory. Those of you who are wondering about sensor malfunctions, hopefully not. Hopefully they didn't ship it back broken. I'm going to have him check it out tomorrow night because I'd like to be sure. So I suspect that when you see me leaving my foot on here, it's just me not being fast enough and the grip tape holding to the bottom of my shoe, because there is quite a bit of grip tape here, and I am wearing shoes that are subject to this being grippy and maybe just not moving fast enough with my weight or something. But I don't have an answer as to why it seems to be allowing me to overpower it. I have charged it up all the way once again, so it's full power. And I've made one modification to my safety gear that I don't normally do. Those of you who don't know, motorcycle gear, pants and jackets come with zippers in the back, so that you can zip them together to stop them from spreading when you fall on an accident. Yesterday I did have a little bit of a scrape, nothing serious, nothing bleeding, but on my love handle from falling down, and I'd like to avoid that again because I kept thinking about falling down after that, as you would well guess. So I zipped this together. It's one of the benefits of motorcycle gear, I guess. It's made to think these things through. Also, I'm going to be playing some music through my headphones today, so I may get lost a moment or two. Hope you'll forgive me on that. And I plan to practice my dismounts. So it's going to be a pretty boring video. I'll probably leave it on and film it, and either speed it up so you don't have to sit through it, but just film it just in case something happens that's worthwhile, and or cut it out and clip it. But at the end of this, I fully intend to do a review of what I think is the difference in terms of riding, because I think we all agree that hardware-wise, the motor is weak on this, the battery is weak on this, the cost is high on this, compared to an EUC. And no question about that. Numbers don't lie. And the real question is if riding sideways is more fun than riding forward, right? Because if it is, you're willing to pay the price and put up with the lower stats. And if it's not, why would you ever consider it? And if you're watching this, you're probably wondering that. At some point, you got to be wondering that. I know, that's what I'm wondering. I see these, and people have a cult following on them. And the question really is, are they enjoying themselves more than I am? Right? That's the question I hope to answer, and why I'm trying to keep an open mind and learn it. So, hopefully that answers all of the thoughts from day one. Tells you where I'm going to go. We'll do a little bit of practice here. I do have a trip coming up to Taiwan next week, so things may get interrupted. Just know that that's that's coming. But in the meantime, I'll also say that I'm not wearing my shin protections. I don't feel like this is going to bite me in the shins, and since it's hot in here in Texas, a little bit of reduction is fine. I still have the knee pads, the D3O material in the motorcycle jeans. So, all that. Oh yeah. So as I'm riding around, I just want to point out the rocks and things are kicking up, even though we've got the half fender on here, just in case you're wondering. So half fender, So it seems like you've got to be at an absolute stop when you lift your foot. Otherwise, lifting your foot doesn't matter. And that's probably a good safety thing. Oh, hey. We're about to have a guest appearance from my dogs. Here they come. Oh, we don't have to. There they are. Oh, they are. The dog shot. Dun, 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 dun. Puppy cam. Hello. Hello, Magellan. Hello. Hello. Hello, Chivas. You want to say hello? Nope. Oh, that's a good spot, buddy. I would pick that spot myself. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Hello. Hello. Such cuties. Hi. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, you're good puppies. I am. All right. We're going to try to answer some quick questions for the dogs and you guys at the same time. I guess, so the first question was about all this crap on the tire. It's a soft tire. You can change the tires. You don't have to have this soft of a tire on here. And they do make fenders that cover the whole wheel. They come by default with no fender at all. And this is a half fender you put on, which is a compromise between being able to see the tire, I guess, which is aesthetically pleasing, and getting shit all over your pants. Stuff all over your pants. So that's the tire. This will kick up onto your shoes and other fittings or pants, just not as much. Now with respect to the mount and the dismount, there is a sensor here and there's a sensor here, and they are divided by this blue line. They do not touch. And when you put your foot down and weight on both sensors, then the motor activates. And at that point, it is sensing whether you are leaning forward or leaning backward to make the motor go and compensate and self-balance. And to disengage the motor, you need to be basically balanced and still, like this, and lift up either the heel or lift up the toe for a second, a full second or so. And then the wheel will disengage and land like this, or all the way like that if you balance support. The alternate method that you see me doing is to jump off with both feet, left or right, so that I'm no longer touching the pad and it just rolls over because it's built like a tank. So that is the hardest thing to do. That lifting of the heel or lifting of the toe while you're balancing. So there's no cars coming here. So when I engage, now the motor's engaged. You can see I'm rolling back and forth as I try to balance on this fat tire because I'm not very good at it. And then I will try to lift the heel, which I'm doing right now, and it'll disengage out of camera view because Murphy's Law. Do you have any other questions? How about you, dog? Do you have any other questions? All right. I think I'm actually best with my right foot forward. I've been switching back and forth. I think that I'm far better. That's how it's supposed to look, without going backwards, of course. And I am getting used to it. Dogs want to say hello. So there it is. It's leaned up, and as you see, because I'm rolling backwards, it's not disengaging. So I need to be basically at a stop, and then lift, and then it'll go. You can talk. No, she's not going to. She's shy. Those little dogs. No. to collect my thoughts as we end the practice session. I think I'm better with the right foot forward. I do like the wider stance. I feel like I'm starting to understand what the tilt back is on this board. It's very subtle compared to an ECU. But I'm starting to understand the pushback, I guess. I really wish they had the beeps or some warning to the watch or whatever. But I kind of get it. It does feel to me like I can't overpower this board. There's no question in my mind that I can really dip it down. It doesn't have the power that I'm used to demanding from that MCM5 of mine, what have you. I guess the side effect from driving really powerful EUCs is when I get on lesser ones, I can absolutely overpower them too. And it's dangerous, right? Because I'm used to having a motor that answers me when I ask it, and this doesn't. Now, where it's most likely to be overpowered is in the corners. So when I'm pressing down and trying to rim it or what have you, that's when the nose dips the most for me. And that's where I've actually started to kind of scrape it. I don't know if you can see it in the video or what have you. And it does catch up again if I ease up. But that's probably where the motor is weakest in terms of fork driving, not straight on, but you know, at a diagonal. So kind of understandable. The other thing that's starting to happen here is I'm starting to carve back and forth on it, which is a little bit more fun way of driving this, right? Or riding this. I can see where people just, you know, float back and forth and just let their legs disconnect and what have you. And also, I'm going to say there's a little more adrenaline, at least at this stage for me, driving this than the other one, the ECU. Because I really do feel like I'm taking my life in my hands every time I start to go fast or start to weave left and right. Because I'm in a very precarious position. And this thing is transmitting the bumps of the road from that big old fat tire in a way that's not so enjoyable, at least to me right now. So I get the shot of adrenaline, and that shot of adrenaline is kind of addictive, right? So maybe that is part of the fun and the appeal in this thing, is that you do recognize that it's a death trap even if you don't admit it out loud. And that's I don't want to say that it was there in the ECUs, but you know, we've been known to do some stupid things to grab a shot of adrenaline too. It's just not as regular for me. Now I am comfortable enough that when the cars are coming, I'm not freaking out like I was. The dismounts are still kind of weak. I'm going to need another couple of days of practicing that. But I do feel like I'm ready to start tackling some other challenges. So now I'm going to do a back up the hill to the house, call it a day. Don't remember if I said it or not. Rider weight was 215 naked, 215 and a half naked this morning. We're going up the hill now to my house. See how it does. I'm not sure how I ran the battery out or not. And hey, we're going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to see if they can go all the way to the top of the hill. Come on, baby. I think it's going to make it. Come on. Answer is no, it did not. That was a nosedive. But I'm wearing my pads, I got my safety gear on, we're good. Camera appears to be okay too. Again, no beeps. Didn't feel like there was pushback on that. Guess it wouldn't be a learning session if I didn't wipe out, right? At least I was done for the day. That's the time to push it. Hope you guys are finding this at least a little bit useful. Happy riding. Hi gang, just wanted to do a quick post-mortem because I realized that after that tumble, some of you may be wondering about the protective gear a little bit. Let me give a shout out to, I should put this on a stand so it doesn't shake. Definitely professional here, right? This one coming to me. Not. All 12 of you. I use G-Form, right? And these are the G-Form ski shorts. And what you'll notice is that they have D3O padding along the hips, the sit bones, the tailbone, not the front. They're very comfortable. This material, if you're not familiar with it, look it up. On impact, it becomes extremely solid. So it's squishy and soft all the rest of the time, but amazingly solid. I wear them underneath my Kevlar motorcycle jeans so the material doesn't get torn up, right? And because it look kind of funny to wear these anyway. But when I took the hill spill, I absolutely landed on my hip, but I have no pain and no problem because this turned hard and it protected me, right? And between that and the shoulder pads and the elbow pads, which are also D3 on my motorcycle gear, and the knee pads, no impact, no harm, no scrapes, no bumps, no pain, right? No pain. So I just want to give a shout out to that when I say, you know, rubber pads, away you go. The next thing I want to do is say that I'm installing the OneWheel app so we can see what the battery was. So it's warning me it's going to collect data. I'm going to agree to their terms of policy. And it disappoints me a little bit that there's no way of telling how much battery the OneWheel has. Any of the OneWheels, I guess. Maybe the plane has a new battery motor on here, but there's no way to tell how much battery is on this thing while you're riding it. There's no LED or output. You have to use the application. So it tells me to power up here, which I've done. It tells me about getting on, engaging the foot pad, riding all the safety stuff. So let's ride. We're going to go ahead and try to connect. Hopefully this is something to do. Down the bottom it has my badges, rides, leaderboard, shop, academy. Then we have the information, then we have profile. So there's your account information. There's the OneWheel, it just showed up. So good news, it's talking. I can tell it to auto connect, which I'm going to go ahead and do. It's got the absolute speed and the odometer total. When there, choose to connect. And our board's name, let's call this Loaner XR, because it was loaned to me. And that sounds a lot better than Death Trap 3000, which is the runner-up name. Okay, that's connected, and so now I can get some information on it or not. It's all set at 0, so it's not pulling information out of it, which is a shame. Don't see a way to refresh this here. Maybe I'll do some shopping, or not shopping, some research and find out the right answer on this. I've clicked on the wheel, and now we have information. We have activated. We were in mission mode. We were at 79% battery. So that was going up my hill at 79%. I think I usually do my test at 80% battery on the EUCs, if you've seen the other ones. And so I can say definitively at 80% battery on this XR battery, it does not make it up my hill. At least not with what I was asking for, at the rate I was asking for it. This particular wheel also finally comes up with 534 kilometers, which I guess is good. And it's in mission mode. So that, in case it matters to you guys who care about that kind of thing, it's in mission mode. I'll also get this set up to send some information to my watch, although my watch is covered by my jacket, so it's not going to be useful. What I'd really like to see is them vibrate this thing on the nosedive warnings and what have you. But we'll go from there. We'll give it some thoughts and compare this to, say, Darkness Bot and other ECU apps. So there's the kind of the post-mortem thoughts. And one last thing I'll do here too is I'll show you the zipper on the jacket, just in case it wasn't clear from when I first started. The motorcycle jackets all should have this zipper here. Of course, you can see the backplate armor that's there too while I'm looking at it. case you didn't see, there's armor here in the elbow, and there's armor here in the shoulder. And in terms of the spills I've taken on this, you've witnessed 2 of them. You can see it's darn clean. Revit makes a good product, right? And same is true for my jeans, where I rolled Kevlar and what have you. These are starting to get loose on me, I'm pleased to say, and it's probably time for me to go shopping for some new ones. I'm going to wait till I get down a little further in the weight, which this is going to help me do, and the ECUs are going to help me do. Happy riding.